Why do some men appear strong on the surface, yet quietly wage unseen battles inside? What truly destroys a man, the world outside, or the weight he carries in his mind? Why do you keep returning to the same patterns that hurt you? If you're a man, you've likely felt that pull, the unspoken pressure to stay stoic while your inner world roils. You may not even realize how deeply those hidden struggles shape every interaction, every promise, every quiet moment of intimacy. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover a truth that no one has ever told you, a revelation that could change the way you see yourself and the people you love. Picture Alex, a mid-level executive, whose office chair is a throne of productivity and whose personal life feels like a series of rehearsed lines. He smiles at coworkers, nods at his partner's stories, but inside he feels a constant echo of fear and shame. He's built a wall of competence, but that wall also isolates him from the very connection he craves. When his partner, Maya, asks about his day, he offers a perfunctory answer, then retreats into his own thoughts, leaving her feeling unheard. Their conversations, once vibrant, now drift like leaves in a wind that never stops blowing. Across town, Daniel, a single father, faces a different kind of invisible war. He works long hours to provide for his child, yet the guilt of missing milestones gnaws at him. He hides his vulnerability behind jokes and bravado, convinced that showing weakness would shatter his image as a provider. But the more he masks his feelings, the more he distances himself from the boy who looks up to him, yearning for a genuine bond. Both Alex and Daniel illustrate a pattern. The shadows that men carry, unspoken grief, unprocessed anger, buried insecurities, can erode trust, dampen affection, and create emotional distance. These shadows are not mere thoughts. They are the silent architects of unmet expectations, of misread cues, of unintentional hurt. They thrive in silence, growing louder when left unexamined. Yet, by confronting these shadows through the practice of shadow work, men can reclaim authenticity, rebuild intimacy, and transform the very foundation of their relationships. In this journey, we'll explore how the hidden parts of the self influence the visible world, how acknowledging them can unlock deeper connection, and how the courage to face these inner battles can lead to a life of richer, more honest relationships. Stay with us, and discover the powerful shift that awaits when you finally look inward. From the moment the first scar appeared on a boy's shoulder, he was taught to tuck his emotions beneath a hard-backed jacket. A man should not let his feelings show, the world whispered, and the lesson was etched into his bones. Yet the weight of those unspoken words never lifts. It gathers like a storm cloud, waiting for the inevitable burst. The price of that silence is steep, and the ledger is always settled in the quiet hours before dawn. In the shadows of that ledger, a quiet paradox lingers. Many men equate silence with strength, but in truth, the quiet can become a chasm. Imagine a man pushing his own soul into a dim, locked room, hoping the echo will fade. He presses deeper, believing the darkness will swallow his doubts, but the walls themselves begin to hum with the unspoken ache. This is the subtle, almost invisible battle that rages behind a stoic smile. When did you first feel the tremor of doubt in your chest? It is a question that lingers like a ghost in the hallway of your mind. In the early days, you might have thought the world would crumble if you let your guard down. That fear of vulnerability grew into a fortress of distrust, where every conversation felt like a test of loyalty. Why does the fear of failure loom larger than the fear of pain? Because failure, when it arrives, is a silent accusation, while pain can be shared, even if it is hard to bear. Within the realm of psychologia occulta, there is an uncomfortable truth that few dare to voice. The male psyche is a labyrinth of suppressed truths, each corridor lined with echoes of past hurts. The deeper one ventures, the more the walls seem to pulse with unseen currents. It is here that the real conversation begins. The night after the storm, when the rain finally stops, you might find yourself staring at the ceiling, wondering if the walls will ever breathe again. You ask yourself whether you have become a prisoner of your own silence or a warrior who has simply forgotten how to shout. In the quiet, you hear the faintest whisper of your own heart, begging to be heard. The journey ahead will unravel how those hidden parts shape the world we live in, and how confronting them can unlock a more authentic, richer existence. The next chapter will guide you through the process of peeling back the layers, revealing the core that has long been shrouded in darkness. Stay with us, and let the mystery unfold. The quiet that surrounds you is not empty. It's a cavern filled with unspoken thoughts. In that hush, the weight of unresolved feelings settles like sediment, thickening the air until it feels heavier than any external pressure. It's not the problem itself, whether it's a failing job or a broken relationship, that consumes you, but the silence that follows, the refusal to let those emotions spill into the light. Your mind, wired from the beginning to solve puzzles, has learned to shut down the softer side. When a challenge appears, the brain flips on a switch: analyze, plan, execute. The emotional part is tucked away, labeled as a distraction, a potential threat to efficiency. Yet when those emotions overflow, the system loses its footing. The flood of feelings can feel like a storm inside, and the brain, accustomed to calm, goes into a panic mode that can spiral into anxiety, depression, or even physical ailments. It's a silent predator that gnaws at the edges of your well-being, eroding resilience before the first crack is visible. Many men live in this quiet, carrying a suitcase full of unshared pain that corrodes more than any overt failure. They carry the burden of being the stoic, the provider, the protector. They smile when the world is crumbling inside them, because the expectation of silence is a script that has been rehearsed since childhood. The more you hide, the deeper the roots of that silence grow, and the more it takes over your thoughts, your actions, and your sense of self. Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest, that feeling of being trapped behind a mask that says, "I'm fine"? Have you nodded through a conversation, pretending everything is okay while your heart is breaking? Those moments are the seeds of a larger, unseen wound. When you finally allow yourself to name those emotions, you cut the chain that holds you in place. You learn that vulnerability is not a weakness but a gateway to genuine strength. The twist lies in redefining what it means to be strong. True resilience is not about enduring every storm in silence. It is about recognizing the storm before it devours you. By acknowledging the silent turmoil, you give yourself permission to seek help, to talk, to breathe. That act of recognition is the first step toward healing, a quiet rebellion against the old script that told men to swallow their pain. In this new narrative, the real power comes from the courage to confront the silence that has been the true enemy all along. The silence that once cloaked a storm inside us has finally been pierced. When we admit that the true enemy is not the external tempests we weather, but the quiet roar of unresolved grief, we open a doorway that was always there. That first acknowledgement, an act of courage, shatters the old directive that men must swallow pain. It is a quiet rebellion, a refusal to let the storm consume us before we can even see it. Every man carries a private battlefield, a war fought in the shadows of his own mind. Some of those wars seem endless, a cycle of doubt and despair that never yields. Yet the very fact that we can name them, that we can share them, gives them a form. Naming the invisible battle is the first step toward turning it into something we can influence, something we can confront. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a strategic move in the game of resilience. In the realm of dark psychology, we learn that the hidden motives and unseen forces that shape our behavior can be understood and, ultimately, redirected. This field teaches that the darkness within is not a void to be feared, but a complex terrain that can be mapped. By studying the patterns of the subconscious, we gain tools to navigate our own inner storms, to recognize when the wind shifts, and to adjust our sails accordingly. This knowledge does not replace the need for human connection. It amplifies it, allowing us to communicate our struggles with clarity and purpose. If this message resonated, then you are already part of a larger conversation. There is more to explore about the male psyche, layers that have been kept hidden under societal expectations. The journey toward healing is continuous, and the next chapters are waiting for your voice. Speak, breathe, and let the dialogue flow. When you share what you carry, you invite others to do the same, and together we create a chorus that can drown out the old script of stoicism. Ultimately, the path to resilience is not a solitary march through darkness but a communal pilgrimage. By confronting the silence, we invite others to step forward, to break the cycle of hidden wars, and to rebuild a narrative where vulnerability is a strength. Keep listening, keep sharing, and let the story of your inner storm become a beacon for those still searching for the light.